walked through. She looked like a bird. She looked
I thought she looked so pretty.
she looked like a crow. Hello, you're watching Black by Reality on YouTube or listening to us. This is a place for Black by Baddies and those who love us, and we have been covering And Just Like That. I am so happy to see that more of you are watching us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. We want to build this community and keep you guys here for also future content. Of course, I am here with my co-host for this series, Aramide. Hi, Rami.
Hello, it is me in my regular chaotic background. That is not
Love
true.
it. It's always so good. Episode 6. We got a lot done. We got a lot done in this.
A lot.
How are you feeling about it?
I actually loved it. I love the fact that it was set in a snowstorm, so it gave us a little bit of texture. Like one of the most iconic Sex in the City scenes is when Carrie and Big are on that. Is it Carrie and Big? No, it's Carrie and Alexander for whatever his name was.
Yes.
In
Yes.
a sled. It's like New York snow. Like it's awful to be in, but it's beautiful to look at. And it was just a ridiculous episode. But some really important things happen. And
Absolutely.
That's what we need to discuss.
Absolutely. Yeah. So at the top, Carrie, she's setting up for an interview at home, something that we both are very used to. But this interview was a hot mess. It was not a real reporter whatsoever. It was an influencer who did not bother to read the book. And basically, Carrie's computer decided to end it all by throwing itself off the laptop or off the desk.
It was iconic, and I love this. And not to dig at influencers, like I do realize that influencers are real people. They have real jobs. Like it's actually a lot of work, but no one seems to understand the difference between journalism, which is what we do, and influencing. They're not the same thing.
No,
we can't. And I don't blame her computer. Like Carrie was just like, yeah, like I can't, because it was ridiculous. It was also a Sunday morning.
Miranda, she wakes up. She's frantic, but for once she can actually calm down. She's at Naya's place. It's Sunday, and Naya is working on some divorce paperwork.
Yes, I'm so glad. Hopefully we'll never see Andre Rashad's rude ass ever again. And Naya seems to be like, I'm sure it's really difficult. She's been with this man half of her life or more, but she's like, you know what? We have to move on. Like we've gotten to a point where we don't want the same things. And she's it's a hint toward Miranda that like she also needs to figure some shit out in her life.
Yes, we have been saying this. Yes. So I am glad she has some motivation, but she's still coming at this from such a guilt-ridden place, making a joke of like no fault divorce, like this divorce is all my fault. And it's like, Miranda, we'll talk about it later. Meanwhile, LTW is in bed with 2 of her kids and Herbert. They see Rock's ad and they're so hyped. They call Charlotte. Charlotte's of course also really hyped about Rock. And then LTW's daughter steps on her husband's manhood. So
I mean, if anyone's ever slept in bed with children, it's very much not a pleasant experience. So I would not recommend 0 stars. There are just a lot of small hands and feet, and basically LCW and her husband like tell the children they have to get the F out of their bed, their room, which is what they deserve. Like you can't be like stepping on your father's like private. They're like jumping on the bed.
I know. While Charlotte on the other side of the phone, after they hung up, she hears that Lily is upset because she didn't make a Nobu reservation, and now Lily's like, you messed up my losing my virginity plan. Thanks, Mom. And everyone's like, meaning Anthony, Harry, and Charlotte are like, what the heck is happening?
And Rock is like, absolutely not. Like, just like, yeah, this was such an interesting thing. Like,
Lily's real bold.
And I appreciate the openness, but like your godfather, your father, and your mother, like I can understand asking your one of your parents or guardians questions, but we're just trying to eat breakfast and look at rocks. Like this is a lie, even for
Yeah.
my liberal millennial ass. Like I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And I don't know, like I felt so strange about this whole storyline.
My
In general.
thing is, yes, sex positivity and being there for your kid, but I was just waiting for Charlotte to finally say, "Hey, if you can't make your own reservation, if you can't buy your own condoms, maybe you shouldn't be doing this."
And that's basically what Anthony says. Like Anthony is like the only voice of reason, and it was ridiculous because Harry was like, "I can't deal with this at all. I don't
Yeah.
want to hear it. Let me remove myself." So
Yeah.
like, I'm glad Charlotte isn't this like buttoned up prude that she was in Sex and the City because she is a mother. She has grown, I think, but this was not the correct response.
Yeah, so wild, so wild. Meanwhile, back at LTW and Herbert, after he's somewhat healed, they talk about how they both have events going on. Herbert's like, "Oh, I have this event. I need to go. Like, we should both go and schmooze, basically, for votes." And LTW is like, I have an event," and he's like, "You still doing that?" I love LTW's voice of, oh my god, I am still doing that." Like, what? And he suggests, well, why don't you just pop on by your event and then stay at mine? And she's like, why don't we switch that? And I'm just like, are we supposed to like Herbert?
Okay, so my thing is like this is the exact same storyline that was in the Best Man final chapters, and at the end of that series, Sanaa Lathan left Tay Diggs where he belonged.
Exactly. Like, I'm not seeing
Because
this
it's
as a
not like some
promising.
like Dwayne Reed aisle meet and greet. She's getting honored at the MoMA for being a black filmmaker.
He's a guest. It sounds like he's a guest at this event, and she's like the main attraction at hers, and he's still suggesting that she should just pop on by like she was anyone else and not on the stage.
Like I really try with men, but like this is why they don't deserve nice things.
Basically, so wild. Yeah. So after Lily drops that huge bomb, she goes to her room to play a sad song on her freaking keyboard. Charlotte just sits down. She has the most patience in the world. Um, Lily's like, yeah, I had to cancel my plans with Blake because, Blake's parents are gone. Or actually, Blake's parents is staying instead of leaving town. And then Lily says that, she's known him forever. She's ready to have sex. Love is not part of this, and that's fine. It's very interesting, though, that it's like, this is the one I picked. Um, so we're just going to do this thing.
I think Lily's like I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to remember being that age, and basically being that age is being an asshole. And I think she's very type A, so she's like planning
Yeah.
her life. But I'm not quite sure where the character is going. I feel like the character was one character, and then she took a turn. So
She took a
that's
huge
really
turn.
confusing to me because a type A person would be like, "No, this is my boyfriend. I would have made this reservation at Nobu. Like I wouldn't have made she's leaning more into brat, which I didn't get from Lily before. And it's I'm trying to be like, okay, like you're an asshole at 16 too, or 15
Mm-hmm.
or however old she is. But it's not coming together for me.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Honestly, it's giving a little bit of Blair Waldorf from
Yeah.
Gossip Girl
Mhm.
because she was the one who was on it making plans with Nate to try and have sex for the first time. And it wasn't panning out so well, literally to serve her music. Because, like, that seems to be the
No.
biggest thing about her. And she's like, I have to do this so I can know what it's about and, like, expand my music.
It's that, and I think a part of it is what Charlotte says. Charlotte like was telling Anthony like maybe all this attention on Rock, where
Mm-hmm.
born at, is getting to Lily, and I don't think Lily would ever admit that as the older sister, the more put together sister. So like this could be her way of kind of like I don't know
Yeah,
pushing the envelope.
probably. Probably. Um, Yeah, so Charlotte just reminds her like condoms, and she acts like, "Oh my God, I've been hearing it since fifth grade. Like, we got it." And Charlotte actually takes it a great step, and she's like, "Remember that this isn't just about his pleasure, this is about yours." And Lily tries to like shut that down. So, like, it's very interesting. Yeah, yeah,
But I'm proud of Charlotte for this part of the episode. We'll get to her actions
absolutely.
later because I think, despite her cringing at Samantha's antics like years ago, I think she learned something.
She learns so many great things. But Lily's not ready to hear it. And let's face it, the first time is probably going to last 3 seconds. She's not going to get much pleasure out of it.
It's not gonna be that fun.
That's yeah, but you know, she'll have sex again later. Carrie and Seema, they're shopping for a new math books. They're in the Apple store, and Seema reveals that she wants to propose to Carrie, and that's proposing to get a place in the Hamptons together, Real Housewives style, although not Real Housewives.
I love this because the last Hamptons episode that I can recall was when Charlotte, Samantha, and Miranda and Carrie went to the Hamptons in season 3, and Charlotte got crabs. Carrie saw Mr. Big for the first time after he moved back from France with an Italian,
Yeah.
and some little PR girl tried to steal Samantha's shine. So this was like an epic return because they were staying at some musty bungalow there that like smell like mildew. So this is like, we have money, like this is our season. And as Seema says, like we're not like these sad single women that everyone
Mm-hmm.
to be. Like, we have our own shit. We're gonna go there and we're gonna be fabulous for the summer.
Yes.
I live for it.
Yes, so wild. Um, Meanwhile, Miranda tries to cuddle with Shay after sex. Shay is like, ew, like literally, and I can't. Shay then starts making cameos. Shay,
I
what?
never wanted to fight anyone so badly. So not only does Che like cringe when Samantha tries to embrace them, instead of being like, "Hey, like, sorry, boo," like, there's a gentle way, and I get you don't have to be perfect. And then Miranda's like, "Okay, like, I totally get it. You're having a hard time. Your pilot isn't a go. Let's go to bed." Mind you, Miranda has been running around New York City like a chicken with her head cut off. Then Che has the nerve, the audacity to begin doing cameos.
And they're so lazy. They're lazy cameos.
Like, it's like Miranda's like, she cannot believe it because Che's literally laying in bed next to her and doing these cameos, and Miranda's like, "What have you been doing all day?"
This is the only way you're going to make money because you refuse to go to the clubs. What have you been doing all day?
And I get it, like, when you're depressed and when you're having a hard time, anything is difficult. But it was just like, you didn't even have the sort of wherewithal and like the gumption or the respect for your partner to go into the living room.
Yes.
It was
wild. Che goes full pity party. Miranda begins to leave because the one big theme she had for episodes now is just she needs sleep. She's a grown woman who needs sleep. And Che's like, "Oh, something else to make me feel bad." And, finally, Miranda yells at Che. She's like, "Yeah, I'm pissed because all I get is self-pitying sad Che while the world gets a different version." And she's like, "Well, I'm not acting with you." So like, and then Miranda says, "This is not fair for you to act like I am asking something ridiculous out of you. I am asking for you to try and like move out of this. Because right now, all I'm getting is poor me." And like, I've been there before. Being with someone who's poor me over and over and over literally gets mad at you when you try to like pull them out of it's hard.
It's draining. It's a very draining experience. And it wasn't like Che was like overly nice to Miranda even before they started acting this way.
Yeah.
And it was just really sad to me. I love Miranda's character so much. To see her being treated this way is something she would have never accepted.
Yeah.
City. And it's like, I do empathize with Che and what they're going through. But
Mm-hmm.
like, you're being a bitch.
Absolutely.
You're being
Absolutely.
like to literally knowing that Miranda's been struggling with sleep to literally start doing like I couldn't like I really I cannot. That was some of the best writing ever, but I could not believe it. I was ready to square up. Like I would.
Yeah.
I don't even believe in violence like that, except when people deserve it. But that's when people get bopped in the head.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, Carrie, she's working on a widow event. They call the person who's setting her up, I don't know if it's her agent, is calling it WidowCon. And I was like, I know there's no such thing as WidowCon. But she was like, no, it really isn't. Don't tell other people I said that. But it's for widows going there, things that are catered to them. And Carrie gets paired with formerly Karen, now Carrie with a K, who is a former writer partner. They were supposed to work on some comedy back in the 90s, and Carrie flaked.
I remember. I don't think she's an original Sex and the City character. This
I
woman.
don't
Do you
think so.
remember her?
I don't
Um,
think so.
but the woman clearly has a grudge against Carrie because apparently they're supposed to write this like rom com. Carrie never showed up allegedly, which Carrie is kind of flaky, but I don't think
Yeah.
like clearly the woman is like not all the way.
Yeah.
She's not the brightest crayon in the box. So
Yeah.
I get why Carrie would have been like,
To her, it was probably, oh, this is going to be my big break. Where Carrie probably saw this ain't it.
no.
Like Carrie doesn't write movies to this day. So
Especially in the 90s is very different, very different publishing time, very different for TV and film was not what it is now. So like I
nah.
get her being like, girl, like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So, yeah, after that, Carrie calls Che for help and is like, "Look, I am doing all this and I'm nervous. You're a brave person, so please come and support me through this." And Che agrees with some self-pitying comments, but ends it by saying, "Well, mommy says I have to go outside." And Carrie's like, oh, what? And Miranda says, or Che says, Miranda. And Carrie has nothing to say
Because
because
what
what
do
the,
you say? And that's like literally, I could not believe Chase said that. Miranda's Carrie's best friend.
yeah,
I could not
absolutely.
believe it. It was so nasty and so condescending.
Yeah, like Carrie's not going to talk shit about Miranda with you. Like, get it together. Get it together.
Immediately and with haste.
Mommy. Once it gets to that level of like being a caretaker instead of like
Oh.
a desirable partner, it is done. It is
And literally
done.
all Miranda actually had to do was like leave the house this week.
Leave the house. Miranda has been the opposite of a nag this whole entire time. She's been in La La Land.
Because I would have been told Che to beat feet.
Yeah. She's been like, oh my God, Che can do no wrong. And like stars in her eyes until very, very recently when it's now encroaching on her sleep. Anyone would be cranky if you're doing that.
I cannot believe it.
I can't. Charlotte, Carrie, Naya, and Miranda have dinner at Naya's place. Everything's going good, and then we're talking about exes, y'all. So apparently Naya likes to text Andre about sports.
Hmm.
Whatever.
I mean, the grace that I would give, like I don't believe in really keeping in touch with exes. Like I never
Yeah.
really have. But they were married for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So that is different. And I think like they're trying to get through that divorce. And what Naya says about it is like we had a really shitty breakup that was like weird and we're just trying to have an amicable divorce, which I get. But what I loved about this scene is that everyone is like, Miranda, you need to get your shit the fuck together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. She's kind of also in a self-pitying mode, to be honest, with being like, well, I've messed all this up, so I have no ground to stand on. And they were like, nah, girl, you need to like figure out how to move on. Carrie finally tells her that she talked to Steve a while ago, and he said he was never taking that ring off. So Carrie was like, you basically need to initiate because this man plans on going nowhere.
I think in her life is really working. Right.
Yeah, it's not stable. You can't do this long term. You just can't. So something's got to give. But we do get a little mention of other characters we heard of. Charlotte, she says Trey. She wanted to try and keep in touch with Trey, but Trey was not having it. So
but he
that's
did get
done.
her an apartment, which, and I think it might be the apartment that her and Harry still live in with their kids.
That's wild.
Remember, I think it's New York. Phyllis said you better hold on to that. I'm pretty sure it is because Lily and Rock still share a room. I'm like, why do they share a room? But like that makes sense because Trey and Charlotte that apartment and they're divorced. Child, let me get divorced to an old white man and give me an apartment.
Okay. And then Carrie mentions Aiden, and she has been cyber stalking him. She said that he was in Virginia, got divorced 5 years ago, and he sold his business to Wellstone. But they haven't talked.
Yes. And I think the last time we saw him was Sex and the City 2, which I like to pretend that never happened. Yeah. But before that, the last time we saw Aiden when he was like evicting Carrie from her apartment after she rejected his, well, she didn't reject his proposal, but she like basically told him that she couldn't get married to him.
Yeah.
I see this is like a good way to introduce the character again. We know that he's going to be returning, but also like Carrie treated Aiden so bad.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, but I think it also rings true to human beings because, like, yeah, as people are living longer and they have the internet, I feel like I see all the time, like, basically older people, the minute they get out of a relationship or out of a marriage, they just go to the last person that they have thought about and try to like reach out on Facebook. I think it's lazy. I think it's mad lazy.
It is, but I get that if it's like your high school sweetheart or someone that you like, you broke up because you went to different colleges, or like you broke up because you dating in your early 20s. It was great. Yeah. Like he got a job in like Timbuktu, whatever that makes sense. Carrie don't put this man through the ringer.
Yeah, and he was like pretty vengeful. Like I know all of us are like Aiden, like poor Aiden, but I still think about a little bit of when Aiden, like, was he putting like a Band-Aid on her back or something?
Oh,
he slapped it mad hard.
He was putting her what is it so you can stop smoking, that patch?
Oh yeah, the patch. Yeah, and he smacked her real hard on her back. I was like, nah, this has to end because now you're trying to get what?
And that was the entire episode. They had gotten back together after she cheated on him with Big.
Yeah.
And he like punished her this entire episode.
It was
so
terrible.
Mean to her. And it was like, Carrie, also like, why are you back with him? It was also rings very true. But
nah.
She humiliated him. And he deserved it. They should have never spoken ever again. Last time we should have saw Aiden, I think Carrie was either single or dating the Russian, and she saw him on the street and he turned around and he had a gorgeous little baby in a baby carrier. And that's the last time we should have ever seen Aiden. That's how it should have ended.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that for sure. But, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he has new perspective after everything he's been through and it'll be different. But like, yeah, I would have liked a new, you guys can do this. You can build up a whole new will they, won't they character for Carrie. But we'll see. So Carrie drops an email to Aiden after the ex dinner, but she doesn't send it. And the next morning, Seema's over. They're looking at Hampton houses, but she already got one. But while she's on this computer and is moving so fast, Carrie's like, "Oh my God, please don't send this email. It's to an ex, but I wasn't ready to send it." So yeah.
My thing is like, if you're not ready to send something, don't put their email in the to thing.
Truly, but they just the drama. Yeah. So there's a snowstorm in the city. Che tries to get out of the event, calling Carrie and being like, "Oh my god, I can't go." And Carrie's like, "Nah, nah. These ladies are expecting us. Hey, remember my husband died too?" And Che was like, "All right, like, I guess I'll go."
And I do get what Che like. It's not just like
Yeah,
regular snow; it's real bad. I think the subway is like probably shut down or something like that.
probably.
But what Carrie says is like the women are already there at the Sheratons, like they're already at the event. It's like they probably like bought tickets and got rooms and stuff. So I get why she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to let them down, nor does she want to let down this Karen woman who like she abandoned the Starbucks in 1993.
Yeah, so they're not the only ones that are facing the snowstorm. So LTW, she is like, oh, my car got canceled, which this woman stay having car trouble. So she's like, all right, I'm gonna walk to this event. Herbert, he's like, oh, maybe it's canceled, you can just go with me. And LTW is like, nah, I'm being recognized for my work as a black filmmaker. I'm going. He like I don't know why he jumps to it's probably canceled before just offering to drop her off in his car because that is the last resort. And then LTW is once again trying to make a point. She always likes to shoot herself in the foot just to make a point to this man. And this is no. I don't need a man in shining armor. I'm going to walk myself.
I don't understand this. I don't understand their dynamic. Like, why couldn't
She's
he just
always
offer her the
proving something to
ride? But
him.
also, like, why would he say if your shit isn't canceled? Why would my shit be canceled?
Yeah. He's so selfish. He's the worst. And she's in denial right now. Like, it's not cute that you have to keep like correcting him like this.
And you've been
Especially,
married for like 20 years.
how did you get this far? I'm so confused. Um, so yeah, she packs her things, walks through. She looked like a bird. She looked
I thought she looked so pretty.
she looked like a crow.
She had on this like wide brim, like Diana
Yes.
Ross hat.
Yes.
Like that cocaine white hat that Michelle Pfeiffer wore in Scarface. Like
Yeah.
that was stunning, but it's black. But she
Yeah.
like took her wig off to put the hat on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a lot. I don't know
It was
like
so much.
exactly what was going on, but like it looked good to me.
I mean, yeah, I think it was they obviously wanted a snow catwalk because Carrie is in the biggest puffer dress, not jacket, and it's flowing everywhere. My girl, she looks like a crow in a stage play. It's like fashionista crow,
Yes.
maybe in like The Wiz or something.
Yes.
If they had a female one. And Charlotte just looks cute. She has her pink designer, the earmuffs.
Yeah.
She's always going to be a girly femme part versus like high fashion. So, and they had them catwalk. Like Nicole R.E. Parker being like
through like snow. First of all, I don't know who lives in the north, but like as a northerner through like Chicago to New York, you be slipping and sliding in your snowboard, like slipping and sliding.
I know she don't have the right boots on. I know she don't.
I remember one time I was walking through Washington Square Park. I was in college. It was a horrible snowstorm. Trying to get back to my dorm. I don't know what happened. I know I landed in a pile of snow, and I'd have been stuck there unless two gentlemen had came by and seen my little black arm waving.
Oh
no! And this is not a place to wear heels.
It's not. It's so dangerous. And meanwhile, so Lily calls Charlotte. Yo, she's so bold. She calls Charlotte. She decides, actually, I still need to have sex, so I am going to go to Blake's, bundled up. His parents aren't there. So and like Charlotte kind of sees her off, and then she later calls Charlotte and was like, oh my god, we don't have condoms. And Charlotte's like, you just said. And Lily's like, well, I thought he was gonna get it, and then he thought I was gonna get it, and he doesn't want to go down to the corner store because he doesn't want them to tell his parents. And it's like, y'all not old enough to do this, because if you can't eat it, that like someone might see you and know your parents, then you have no business doing this.
Agree. And my thing with this response from Charlotte, so Lily basically threatened Charlotte saying like, "We'll just use a pull-out method," which is ridiculous.
Was she threatening or was she dead ass?
I don't understand this character. I think that a boomer wrote this. I'm so confused. Like, this is not how a young person talks. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old. It just
I
doesn't.
think I think it would have been more realistic if Lily was like, "Never mind, we got it,"
Right,
and you're just sitting there like, "What does that mean?"
Or anything. But then, like, Charlotte's response is running out in the snowstorm. Everything is closed to look for a condom for her child.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense.
I mean, Charlotte's trying to be very supportive. She's trying to be a very good mom.
But as you said, if you can't get your own condoms, you don't have no business having sex.
But the girl's already there. I get it. Like the one thing that I get is just the fear of pregnancy.
No, it just didn't.
Can we also talk about the elephant in the room? A black mama's not going to do it.
That's it.
I can see a white mama doing it though.
I mean, Brady was fornicating all up and down.
Yes,
Miranda and not in my household.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I am very liberal, but that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Wild.
It was so crazy. Yeah. So yeah, she's searching. She finally finds some. Shows up at little Blake's house. I wish Blake was bold enough to open his own door because that is his house, not Lily's, and had the nerve to like take it from Charlotte. Would have loved to see that. But you know, Lily at the end takes the condoms. She doesn't want to hear any explainers from Charlotte, even though it sounded like good advice to me. And you know, Lily then hugs Charlotte. So the mom got her hug that she wanted the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't really care for this storyline at all.
No,
it was just so chaotic to me. But you know, hopefully, they'll figure out Lily's character by the end of the season.
Yeah, hopefully. So yeah, Che and Carrie, they make it to the Widow Con. They see a widow wand, which is a vibrator for sale. So that's wild. That's wild branding right there. I don't hate it.
I love it actually. I think it's iconic.
Yeah. But wild. And then a funny author is on stage killing it. Everyone's laughing. Carrie's kind of shook because I don't think she's in a place to laugh about anything right now.
And she's also just not a comedic person. Like, her writing's not humorous really in that way.
You would say her writing's not humorous.
It's humorous.
Tries.
It's humorous, but it's not like punchy, if that makes sense. Like, it has quirks to it. It's quirky.
Yeah.
But it's not like no one invited her on stage to tell jokes. Is this trying to say?
No. Yeah. And I think she got a little bit in her head of like, oh, do I have to be something different? She asked Che for a joke, and Che's like, at first, no, but then does give her a joke. When she takes over the stage, she gives a joke. It's not that funny, but she was like, you know what? I was supposed to read this book anyway, so let me do that. And you know, at the end, it's a hit. People were like, yeah, laughing's great, but I also needed a good cry. Haven't let myself do that in a second. And Che seems to be inspired. They're like, I wish kind of that Che's inspiration came from, hey, this was really rough for you and everything, and you push through. But no, Che goes the route that I think a lot of people who haven't experienced big losses do to people who do. And they're like, I get so much perspective. I was complaining about the smallest thing. And I don't know, Rami, how you feel about that, but I feel like it's a little condescending.
It's like real bad. As someone who's gone through like very major losses at a very young age, like, we're like, oh, I don't know how you got out of bed. Bitch, I didn't die. They did.
Yeah.
So that is like very frustrating. And to me, it should have been more like Carrie is a very gifted writer, and she leaned into her
Mm-hmm.
actual gift versus trying to be someone she's not, and that's the payoff,
Yes.
and that's why she's good at what she does. Um,
Yes.
but Che is just like, and I get it, like Che's heartbroken, like their chance at this huge thing is not gonna go, and they were also like very criticized and like
Mm-hmm.
mean kind of for their portrayal of this character. I don't know, like I don't like Che. Don't like Che.
Hopefully it gets better after this episode
Yeah.
if we still see them. But yeah, so that's what that ends on. Meanwhile, Lisa speaks at the event. Not many people are there, but she looks so happy. Oh, and before that, she goes to the bathroom. She takes off the hat. She had this like, I
Her
don't even
wig
know what
cap.
you call.
It's a wig cap.
No, isn't the wig cap that she has on her head before whatever that was on top? It was the
Oh, I think
black.
yeah, she has like a scarf and then like a
That's
some.
why I said she looked like a crow. Her whole head was
She had
covered.
to keep the hat on the scarf on her head, or it's
I
gonna blew
believe
it away.
you. I yes. It's still all great. It's still all great. I'm just saying that was a contraption that was not a wig cap, and I know what a wig cap is.
Please, please.
So, she takes it off. She has her hat box. She puts her wig on with the mannequin and everything. I have never seen that. That's a level I will probably never be at. Elder black woman looks at her and she looks so proud. And like I'm to be honest, as someone who is a natural haired black woman, I'm not liking what's happening with LTW's storylines and black hair because we already saw the baby have to hide and braid her hair down just for an elderly black woman to also approve. And we kind of get that all over again with LTW. And at the end, it was like, we do what we got to do, right? And it's just like,
I thought I didn't see it quite as that. I saw it more of like, oh, she like made it. She did what she had to. She still looks
yes,
presentable. But I do get your
yes,
reservations. Kind of like, and I think that's why we see Naya all the time in twists and braids because she kind of represents the more bohemian, like natural hair black girl like us.
mm-hmm. But they don't also have hair moments with her. That's
Exactly.
my thing. And,
It
and like,
it was a little. It could have been like she was putting on her blusher, or maybe
yes.
if
She
like
just walked in and like the lady
right.
saw her walk in and it's like, yes, you did it. You
Or
got
maybe she
here.
takes off like this horrible like overcoat and you see she's dressed up. It could have been a different way for it to be coming across. I agree with you there. Or she could
Yeah.
have like taken off some ugly ass boots and put on a stiletto because how
Yeah.
she tipping uptown and nose is crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. But yeah, so she takes the stage, it seems like she's killing it, talking about why she covered the women in her documentary that she did. They're all first in some kind of way. And then Herbert later, walks in and they give it such a moment. Like she looks at him and she's so happy of him doing what should be the expectation.
Expecting. I don't get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Miranda, she's at home, meaning her home, and
That
she's
she
folding
paid
laundry
for.
that she paid for. Well, we'll talk about that moment. Okay, so she's home folding laundry. Steve comes in. And she's like, "Where's Brady?" And he reveals Brady's working at the bar. And she was like, "Oh, this is brand new information." And then she asked him, I want to talk. When are you going to move? Like you said you would in therapy. He straight up said, I lied. This is my house. I ain't going anywhere. And this is the first. Now we're clashing. Now we're getting into it. So.
This was a full out. Like I don't think we've seen Steve and Miranda fight like this since like he revealed he had been cheating on her.
Yeah.
And maybe even before, maybe that was the last time. But
Yeah.
essentially, he was like, I did all the renovations here. It was a shit storm when we moved in here, which I get his point. Like, he has literal sweat equity into this house. But for him to shut up and lie and be like, I'm going to leave, and then not be looking for a place all this time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It
so
is.
Miranda, like, lets him have it. And she does throw in his face, like, her name is the one that's on the mortgage, not his.
Which is low.
It was low, but I wasn't mad. The petty in me kind of like
putting up her clothes because Steve then had what he had on his chest, which is, first of all, you never wanted to live in Brooklyn. You never wanted me, and you never wanted Brady. And she fell apart. Then she fell apart.
It was horrible. And it's true, she never wanted to move to Brooklyn, which I get as a Manhattanite. Like, why would you do that? Yeah. That she never wanted to see. She didn't ever want Steve. Nope. And because who leaves Blair underwear for Steve? But we won't get into that. But I thought it was very unfair that he said that she never wanted Brady.
I think this is just part of the breaking up and mourning of a relationship. Like, I know some people are very like conflict averse, but I think kind of sometimes part of the healthy separation is getting it out, getting almost like the worst things that you guys have been stewing on out there, and then we can really then deal and move on, because you're just holding on that kind of resentment or those kind of thoughts that can't be like, and never address them, because it's a horrible thing to say to Miranda, but by saying it, she can at least then say her piece on it. And he knew it wasn't fair. He immediately was like, I said that to hurt you. They're cuddling in bed, spooning, really. It's full on spoon. I've never sadly spooned.
And I've done it, but it's not like, well, like, I get hot very easily. So like, get your ass off.
When she spooned, and I told you last episode, I was like, one thing Steve doesn't go without is the kitty cat.
Okay. So this pissed me off bad because it was disrespectful, is what it was. So they're spooning, and Miranda finds a empty condom wrapper, and she's looking at Steve like, this is the bedroom that they shared. So whatever Miranda and Che have done is what they've done. But Miranda never brought Che to her home that she shares with Stephen Brady. Like, it was an amount of disrespect that I couldn't tolerate, in my opinion.
I have a question, though, because she does say in our bed. And I was like, is it still your bed if you full on left? Like, she was in California.
That's true. Oh, that is true. I just thought it was like, you couldn't go to the girls' place.
Maybe not. Maybe she has roommates. She said Whole Foods girl. I'm like, how young is this girl?
I don't know.
He's a grown man. I could see him just bringing it, but like Brady's still there, so it's like, how's that working?
I just didn't care for it. It left me in poor taste.
And so yeah, she was like, this whole time you've been walking around like a victim. Steve says, I'm not a victim. Love it.
Steve has clearly been milking the situation. I think that initially he was very heartbroken by what had gone down, because Steve is a man of consistency. He likes things to be very like not boring.
Comfort.
Like, yes, he's a comfort guy. He doesn't like too much excitement. So I think he was heartbroken. But again, Steve, I think, realized Miranda, it was never going to be the same. And he kind of started moving on. But he also liked being like able to get, like, he wasn't even looking for a place to live.
Yeah, I think also this was very necessary for the fans. Like, I think once again the writers are adjusting the fans, because I think he got his moment with Carrie last season. I think everyone really like also hated Che and Miranda because he was the guy. Yeah, and he's the guy who's like, I'll never take off my ring, and that does seem like romantic. But no, Steve was always this. Like, the minute the minute things aren't going his way, he's gonna find another woman. Or yeah, and like, I mean, he was free to do so. Miranda and him were separated, but it's just like, yeah, Miranda projected way too much of being like putting Steve into the victim role. I don't know how it never came up that he cheated before too. Miranda leaves and she goes over to Chase, thinking she gets to finally vent about her situation. And she's like, I should have broke up with Steve earlier. Maybe we could have been friends. And Shay was like, about that. And it's like, Shay,
So
Shay.
I knew it was going to be a problem. So Miranda comes stumbling through the door full of snow, and Che's not expecting her, and Che looks like annoyed and miffed that Miranda's there. And I get it. Like, I don't want anybody barging into my house either. Like, you haven't called or anything like that. But it's like Che's immediately irritated by the sight of Miranda. And it was sad.
It is sad. It's very sad. I don't know. Next scene.
But
Shay spooning Miranda.
Basically she's saying like, did she say this before or after the spooning? No, before. She says like, I don't see things, they're
not getting better.
Yeah, and she says I can only see things getting worse. And I'm glad Che called it, thank God, because Miranda was never going to call it.
Yeah, and Miranda agreed almost immediately, So yeah, Che's spooning Miranda, which I'm like, girl, why? But then, I guess they're broken up. Maybe they'll be friends, kind of like what we previously talked about of that being a possibility. So we'll see. And we end with Carrie sending that email to Aiden. So that's how he comes back, I guess.
Yeah. I would say that it was an interesting episode. It was a bit ridiculous, but I enjoyed it more than some of the others, I will say.
Did you have a BB moment of the episode?
I did. Before the child stomped Herbert to death, I thought that that Sunday morning shot of a black family in bed, I thought it was so sweet and precious.
Yeah.
Until the child ruined it. But we love the kids.
We love the kids. We love the kids. Oh goodness. You know what? I'm gonna say our girl Naya is getting my BB moment this episode. Just the fact that, she seems calm, cool, collected. She's moving on with these divorce papers. She basically pushed Miranda to do the same or get her thinking about it. And, she's keeping it friendly with Andre, which is the best thing when you're negotiating a divorce. A chaotic bi moment? Do we really have one this episode?
Oh, well, I guess this wasn't completely bi, but when Che told Carrie that she was referring that Miranda was mommy, it wasn't really a bi moment. That was crazy. And I'm glad that tell Miranda or Che.
Yeah.
But I think that it's gonna come back out.
I mean, at this point, they're over with, so who even cares? But yeah, that was wild. Che having another person's titties on their phone and then downplaying it and being like, those titties are back in Arizona. That was chaotic. That was just chaotic. Like,
the whole cameo thing was chaotic.
But bisexuals, we already get a bad rap on whether we can be, monogamous or like non-cheaters. But like, that was wild, and like immediately started downplaying it.
I'm assuming that we're going to see Aiden pretty soon. I think this is episode 6. Am I correct there?
Yeah.
So we have 5 more to go. We have to be seeing Aiden the next episode or the one shortly thereafter.
Totally. Yeah, so that's all. Also wanted to say congrats to you again, Aramide.
Thank you.
Got a new job at Variety.
I do. I'll be over there writing all the reviews for television on all of them. I have a LA cohort who's lovely. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing as soon as we log off of here. Back to getting these episodes in.
Yeah. So please like, comment, subscribe. I'm also going to be on another podcast. Rob has a podcast, Mix Magnets. We're talking about Too Hot to Handle, the
Yes.
first drop of that. So watch me talk about these dummies who are truly giving Lily energy. They just can't wait. They can't
I think
keep it in their
Lily's a
pants.
child. Like, please, it's too much. If
I
Michelle
know.
Bartow's still there, I love her. Like, I love everything about her. She's everything to me.
I know. It's so bad. But yeah, and yeah, stay tuned. Follow us across socials. We got a lot of good unseen bits on Instagram and TikTok. So have a good one.